be trying to have my face looking like something when I do these, but my father passed away yesterday morning, and this Sunday love is just the reality that that life just sometimes doesn't. Sometimes some things just never ever go how you hope and pray for. And for the people that have known me, they know like that my dad has been in jail since I was 12 years old. I'm 37 now. And the reality that honestly every season of my life pretty much I was hopeful and I prayed that that he would get out and that, you know, we would have an opportunity to be how we were, you know what I mean, when I was a little girl. And obviously now I've had to come to terms with the fact that that prayer, that wish, that dream never came to fruition, you know what I'm saying? And it's just the reality of it. And I was talking to my daughter about it because honestly, there are some spaces of life that we find ourselves in that make us just so vulnerable and make us feel like children and make us want our mommies, you know, that make us just like broken, you know, like you feel a brokenness. You feel like a powerlessness, you know, and it could be something that you struggle with for so long. You just had to force yourself to come to terms with the reality. Otherwise, you would be bleeding through your whole life. You would never be able to function. You would never feel a sense of normalcy, you know. Those things that hurt us so much that in an effort to heal, you just cover it up. You don't address it. You don't deal with it. You act like it never happened. You don't visit it in your mind. You don't visit it in your conversation because the heartbreak associated with it is sometimes that's the only way that you can heal is to just not even deal with it, you know. And I have found myself in that place, honestly, like over and over again, you know. And, you know, with the situation with my dad, and remember being like 12 and going to visit and feeling so broken, feeling so powerless, feeling like, dang, I just want to hug him and it's a glass here or that there's, you know, whatever, all of these dynamics that are completely out of my control, you know what I'm saying? And in that effort to heal and in that effort to not dwell on like heartbreak, you just get to a point where some situations, it's almost like you gotta throw it away, you know. And I don't want to say it like that, but when you find yourself in such a level of heartbreak that you can't do anything, that the only way to continue living is to not deal with it sometimes because you can't do nothing about it. But I was talking to my daughter about this, and honestly, especially in light of like, you know, the timing with everything right now. And I was reminded of the story of Paul and how Paul asked God. The Bible says at least on 3 different occasions that Paul asked God to remove this thorn from his side. And the Bible never says what Paul's thorn was. And I talked about this before, but the Bible never says, you know, that Paul's thorn was depression, or that Paul walked with a limp, or that Paul was a sex addict or a weed head, or that Paul's, you know, issue was schizophrenia or Tourette's or whatever. It doesn't identify his thorn, but it did say that at minimum, on 3 different occasions, Paul asked God to remove this thorn from his side, which was something that was causing a problem for him. And it was a challenge in life for him that he had to walk with for what seemed like obviously forever, because God never took it away. And when I was talking to my daughter about this, I had to share that story with her, because I had to tell her, like, you know, part of my challenge with losing my dad is that I've felt like I have mourned his loss forever, you know, since I was 12 at least. And then again, probably, you know, at 15 or 16, when you have like middle school dances, or you have father-daughter dances, or prom and marriage and graduation and having children. And so I remember at all these different checkpoints in life, kind of feeling like I prayed that prayer, like, man, God, if you could just let him come home, where we would have this dynamic again, like this, like remove this thorn from my side about this situation. And similar to Paul in the Bible, obviously God never did that, you know, and he never answered the prayer the way that I would have hoped, you know what I'm saying? And now in adulthood, he's helped me to understand that at the end of the day, there are some thorns that God doesn't remove. And you may live a lifetime with your thorn, you know, it's just the reality, you know what I'm saying? And God also helped me to understand that I didn't cause your thorn, you know, I didn't create your thorn. People make choices, people do things that that create thorns in their side, or create thorns in the sides of the people that they love, you know what I mean? And it's not God's doing. And he allows us to choose how we'll live, what we'll do, you know? I had to explain to my daughter that, and God not ever answering my request the way that I desired, I learned parts of God's character that I honestly can say I probably would have never known, you know? And, you know, God didn't force the lifestyle that I had to live by my father living the life that he lived. But God showed me himself in it, you know? There are moments for all of us when life comes to a point of like what feels like full circle. And I was talking to my daughter about losing my dad, and I was like, you know, in reality, I had to accept that this was a thorn God never removed, but I also had to understand that although he didn't give me the thorn, he didn't create the thorn, that he loved me through it, and that he showed me how his character, despite my thorn, could fill the gap of whatever was causing me pain. And although I wish for the thorn to be removed and for things to be different, God also showed me how, no, I may not answer this the way that you want me to, but I'll walk with you through it. And I will show you how I can be everything you need despite your thorn not being removed, and how I can make it where you may still have your thorn, but you won't bleed through life because I'll be with you.